New York's bravest, Joseph Bonanno, the author of this book, The Firehouse Grilling Cookbook.
Well, Joe Bonanno is back, and he has brought another book and some other wonderful recipes. Joe is on duty every night at Ladder Company 152 in Queens, New York, and he cooks dinner for his colleagues, family style.
No one has to be able to eat and run like a firefighter, but a fast-paced life is no reason not to eat healthy. So now there's the Healthy Firehouse Cookbook.
There's nothing like a hot bowl of soup on a chilly fall evening, and I've got two great ones. Firefighter Larry Weiss of the West Sayville Fire Department and his cream of Reuben soup, and Firefighter Chris White of the FDNY and his roasted poblano and corn chowder. Also a tour of McCall Wineries on the North Fork of Long Island. So get ready, soup's on in the Firehouse kitchen. I'd like to introduce from my very own FDNY, Firefighter Chris White. Hey Chris, how are you doing today?
Yeah,
Good, sign in the, I'm sure you're familiar with that. That's our House Watch Journal, reporting for culinary duty instead of RFD. Grab yourself an apron. Put that on. Hey, how are you today?
All right,
All right. First question I got to ask you, where do you work?
I work in the big house in Far Rockaway, Queens.
Oh, in Far Rockaway, yeah, I've worked there myself. Yeah, I'm from Ladder 129. How long have you been a firefighter?
I've been there 10 years now.
10 years, okay. You're halfway to the 20-year mark.
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
Over the hill, right?
Oh.
Over the hill. Tell me what you're going to be making us today.
Today we're going to make a roasted poblano corn chowder with some peaches for a little sweetness.
What got you in the firehouse into cooking?
When I was a little kid, I used to cook with my mom a lot, so that was a passion of mine. I ended up going to culinary school, and then when I got to the firehouse, that was it. I was the man.
You were at home. Yeah. Yeah, and I'm really glad you mentioned culinary school because I think the viewers out there have always thought of firemen as meatloaf and mashed potatoes.
Yeah.
And I went to culinary school myself, and the recipe that you picked today is really terrific. I mean, a ton of great ingredients, and really show the viewers out there that we can make things other than meatloaf and mashed potatoes. Well, I'm sure you make a mean meatloaf and mashed potatoes,
yeah, well,
so do I, but this is going to show them that we can do a level above that.
Thanks.
So tell me how we're starting and what we're going to do.
We're going to start off with about 4 tablespoons of butter.
All right, and what temperature do you want this? And that's going to be in this big pot?
Yeah, we're going to start at medium-high.
Medium-high, okay. And we'll get that going.
Get the heat going. And
all right, then.
We're going to start with 4 tablespoons of butter, about 3 tablespoons of olive oil.
Okay, go over some of the ingredients. Okay, I'll do that. So butter and olive oil.
Yes, sir. That way, you don't want the butter to burn.
Okay. Okay. So you're mixing butter and olive oil. Okay. And how much? This is an
I'd say about 3 tablespoons.
Just enough to coat the bottom.
Yeah.
Right? Okay.
Because we're going to end up making a roux out of it.
Okay. Is that enough?
That's beautiful.
Okay. Put that back over there.
All right. And once that starts getting up to temperature, we'll add some onions, ginger, and garlic.
Okay, and that's what you use, and then you're going to add your flour to make the roux once this...
after we saute all the vegetables and some tomato paste, then we'll add the flour to make the roux.
Now this is called, give me a name, roasted
poblano corn chowder.
Okay, no Firehouse roasted, no, you're not going to give them any credit for it, that's all right.
No roasted poblano, how you doing soup,
How you doing soup.
Right.
All right, so we'll just call it that, which is a kind of nice name for it.
All right.
Next we have...
Next we're going to add...
This is coming. I'm going to put this on high.
We're going to put it up on high to get the temperature going. We're going to add the onions.
Yeah, it's starting to sizzle now. Okay. Now what kind of onion are you using on this?
We use Vidalia onions because they have a little more sweetness to it.
Right, Vidalia onion, yeah. Yeah, I think we got to be very specific with our audience. I know when you make stuff around a firehouse, it's onions, potatoes, right. Yes, but for our viewers and to show them that we have something above that level,
right,
we'll
of
go
course.
with Vidalia onions.
All right, so I'm going to add some, I diced about 4 cloves of garlic.
4 cloves of garlic, okay.
All right. And probably about 2 tablespoons of diced ginger.
Ginger, okay.
Ginger brings out a little sweetness and heat to it also.
Now, where did you go to culinary school?
I went to the Culinary Institute of America up in Hyde Park.
Wow, that's the Harvard of culinary schools.
Yeah.
I just went to a smaller local one. I didn't need the degree part of it. I just wanted the culinary part.
Right. I ended up graduating and traveling the country a little bit, doing some cooking.
Now, this was before you got on the fire department?
Before I got on the job,
So then what made you go from being trained at the Harvard of cooking schools to joining the FDNY?
Well, it's the greatest job on earth,
Yeah, we know that. I know that. That's a funny thing to say.
I take advantage of that.
And you still get to cook too.
And I get to cook,
right.
And there's a lot of flavors out there, and to cook in the firehouse, you can't please everybody, but you definitely try to change their minds. All right, that looks sweated enough, so we're gonna add some carrots to it.
Okay.
I do about a carrot and a half diced.
Oh, before the flour, you're adding the carrots.
Before I
to
add
make
all my
them-
vegetables, saute them a little bit, get some caramelization flavor out of it, and then I'll add the roux.
Okay.
Then we'll make the roux out of that.
Okay.
We got some yellow pepper, one yellow
I'll
pepper.
turn the heat up a little bit now, more because you're bringing the temperature down by adding the ingredients.
And then we have...
And that's a yellow pepper, right?
That's a yellow pepper. And here we have 2 jalapeno peppers.
Okay.
Okay.
For a little bit of heat in there.
I want to get a little heat.
Now I noticed says it's poblano and roasted corn. You roasted the corn previously?
I roast the poblano.
Okay.
The corn we're not roasting, we're going to
It's
saute
roasted
the corn.
poblano and corn. Okay, so
Right.
it's raw corn then?
It is
It's gonna
raw
go-
corn,
okay.
right? We're going to saute the corn and blanch some later for garnish at the end.
Okay. All right, Chris, this seems like a pretty complicated recipe. How did you come up with this?
Well, I'm big into using stuff that's in season.
Okay.
So we got peaches that are in season, corn is in season. It's prime time to use those vegetables, and
Okay.
you'll get it at a top quality flavor at that time. So that's
Okay.
why I came
Now,
up with this.
have you made this in the Firehouse? It's to me, I know you work in a double house?
a triple house.
Triple house, so you
Yeah,
got
yeah.
a lot of sous chefs, or,
Right,
what,
yeah.
or what they claim to be sous chefs, to help you. This is a lot of ingredients.
We get a lot of input, so as you see, the ingredients grew more and more.
So
as
have you
it-
actually made this specific
Yes,
one?
we have. I definitely try different things in the Firehouse instead of just doing meat and potatoes. We'll do fish and do a lot of fresh. I like to do fresh herbs and fresh vegetables
Okay.
to try to make things a little more healthier and try to advance their palate a little bit.
Advance their palate a little bit. Yeah, I like
Like that one? I definitely.
And I know
season
how that
everything.
goes over.
Yeah, sometimes it goes well, and sometimes it doesn't.
I know.
You know, so I always season everything: salt and pepper, everything.
Okay,
All right, salt and pepper the vegetables, and
Right.
then I'll salt and pepper after we add the stock.
okay,
That way you're seasoning the vegetables and then you're seasoning the soup itself at the same time.
okay.
All right, as that's sauteing, next we'll add the corn.
Okay, now that's again your raw corn. Okay. Yeah, I got it.
Should reserve, I do about 5 ears of corn, and then I'll reserve one or two at the end to garnish the soup at the end of the process.
Okay, and I see you saved the husks.
So I take the corn off the
Okay.
husk, and we'll save this for the end.
Okay, and then that's not cooked again. That's totally
This is
raw
not cooked.
corn.
We will blanch this at the end of the
At the end,
when the
okay.
soup is done,
Okay,
and we use it as garnish.
okay. And this, I notice, there's no meat, stocks, or anything, so it's totally vegetarian.
This is
So.
a vegetarian soup, yeah, which is another new thing for the Firehouse.
Well, now being familiar with firefighters the way they are, I could see a guy dropping a slab of meatloaf in this thing and saying there's not enough meat, protein.
Gotta keep an eye on the pot because there's always a guy that's gonna
sneaking
add a little,
something.
pork bone or anything
Pork,
like that.
right.
Keep it
Yep, yep.
But you can change the soup around. I mean, you could always add. You could use chicken stock
Chicken
instead
stock,
of
okay.
vegetable stock. You could add, and you could roast some chicken bones and add chicken at the end.
Okay.
You could do a seafood stock and add shrimp at the end to change the soup around. You could
Okay.
always change. You don't always have to follow one recipe. That's the best part about cooking. So next we'll add some tomato paste.
Okay, regular tomato. Okay, tomato
This
paste.
is regular
okay,
tomato
yep.
paste. We add about 2 teaspoons, I'd
Okay,
say,
okay. Now that's right to this.
right to that, and that gets
Okay.
mixed up around there.
Okay. And
All right, we're gonna once again we'll add our peaches. I have peaches.
Okay.
I add peaches for some sweetness to the soup.
now, any particular type of pieces? I see these are kind of whitish.
These
They're
are
not that.
white Georgia white peaches.
Georgia
They're-
white,
They're
okay.
fresh right now. That's
Okay.
in season.
And I'm thinking if you use the other type of peaches, that they're too juicy, they just kind of fall apart. So you need the firmer peach.
Yeah, I
Georgia.
like the firmer peach.
Okay. Great.
It holds nicer in the soup when you're blending. It'll help thicken it up too. You know?
Yeah, when you said peaches before, and I looked at it, it almost looked like apple.
Right,
but,
right.
You're saying it's what is it called? Firm Georgia peach?
White peach, Georgia white peach.
Georgia white peach. Okay.
All right, I'll always season again.
Okay.
Make sure you season. You
Okay.
don't season, it's gonna be bland at the
Okay.
end.
Between steps is what you're saying. Okay.
10-4.
10-4. I like that. I'm ready to go 10-8. You know what that means?
No, I know what that is. And next we'll add a
Right.
little cayenne pepper, about a teaspoon and a half of cayenne pepper.
Cayenne. Okay. Yeah, not too much on the spice, right? It has a little bite to it, but not much, right?
Well, it has a good bite to it because I have the cayenne with the jalapeno and the poblano even has. After you roast the poblano, it has a nice little bite to it.
Okay.
All right.
Now.
I have some cilantro. here.
Cilantro. Okay. Now, are you putting that in whole?
I do put it in whole.
Wow. Okay. And you don't like a bay leaf? You don't take it out later? You just put it in whole.
No,
and let
because we're gonna blend it all up.
let it kind of meld in at the end. Okay.
And I add probably
Wow.
about 5-6 sprigs of cilantro,
Cilantro whole. Okay. Stems and all.
stems and all.
Okay.
All right. And I
was curious what that was.
This is lime zest and juice of two limes.
Lime zest and juice.
2 limes.
2 limes, okay.
I will add that in.
Some interesting ingredients.
It's almost like making a salsa and making it into a soup.
Salsa soup, okay.
Salsa soup.
A salsa soup, okay.
All right, now I add flour to make a roux out of the whole thing.
Okay, now with a typical roux, you're waiting for the flour to get brown, or we're not doing that at all?
You don't need it to make this a brown roux because with all the vegetables and the peppers that are in there, it's gonna.
It's more like a thickening.
That's all. It's
okay,
just
it's not
using
really
it as a thickening agent, not to.
not really a
coloring
brown
agent.
roux.
We're
Okay.
now looking to get that nutty flavor.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So you see how much it comes together, and then you can add a little more. It's about 1/3 of a cup
Okay.
of flour.
Mm-hmm. Well, it smells great. The cilantro really kicked the smell up a little bit.
Yeah, you get a nice. Cilantro is one of my favorites. You know,
Mm-hmm.
you get a nice flavor, nice smell.
Okay, now it's time to add your vegetable stock.
Yes, now that we got the flour all incorporated, we'll add 8 cups of vegetable stock.
Okay. Now, are we going to, from low now, turn it up to high, let that come to a boil first, or stay with simmer?
10-4, we're going to bring it up to a boil and then lower
Boil
it down,
first.
then lower it down to a simmer and
Okay.
simmer for about a half hour.
Right, pretty standard for soups, right? Okay.
Right.
All right, yeah, and I'll blend that flour in a little bit. Okay, so it's 8 cups, you're saying. Okay. All right. And now I got you up to high. I'll take some of the brown bits off the bottom if I can. I don't think it burned too bad on the bottom. Okay.
And then also what I like to do is I add the
Yeah, that's
cobs
interesting.
from
yeah,
the corn.
you mentioned that earlier. That's interesting.
When you simmer that in there, it definitely gets a lot of flavor, corn flavor out of the cobs.
Now, when you add these, which is an interesting ingredient for our viewers to see, do you pull them out at the end, or you strain it? What?
I pull them off at the end before we blend everything together.
Okay, so you take them out with a pair of tongs, and
Yeah.
then you blend everything together. Okay, Chris, what are we doing next?
So what we're going to do now is make the garnish for the soup. We're going to take some more corn off the cob and blanch that, and then we're going to peel some peaches and saute it in a little bit of butter.
Okay, now that's a peach?
This is a peach. This is called donut peach.
Donut peach, okay.
I'll use that, and also the white peach. It's also a hard peach. Has some sweetness to it.
Okay.
And we'll saute that in butter. And then we have roasted poblano peppers.
Okay, you roasted them previously.
I did. I
So
roasted them.
can I give you a hand? You want me to peel them?
And you know, I usually ask junior guys, but you know, we'll ask a senior guy to help me out a little bit. That would be
I
great.
that senior comment so much, but I would be senior to you. Great, Chris. Do you want to dress it with a little sour cream? Is that how you
Sure, we
usually
put a
do it?
little dollop of sour
Okay.
cream on there.
Just to give a little color to it, okay?
And then I always garnish with a little
That was cilantro.
nice cilantro leaf.
That you used in the ingredient list, right?
Before.
Oh, you want to taste it? Let's see.
That sounds good.
Let's see what you got. Wow, really unique taste to it.
Thank you very much. I'm glad you appreciate it.
Yeah, I think that'd warm you up on a cold Firehouse night.
It sure does.
For more information on Chris and his recipe, please visit our website. I see you brought us a patch for our board.
I did.
All right, can I take a look at that?
Sure can.
All right. That's the big house in Far Rockaway. Going to take an honorary place on our patch board. So why don't you say we finish? It tastes so good, I want to finish it up.
Awesome.
Getting a
Enjoy
little
it.
chilly in here, you know? Well, we
Not
taste
bad,
it.
right?
Yeah, the poblano pepper, I really taste it.
Yeah, you get down a little bit of smokiness.
Yeah, just enough bite to it. I'm here in the West Sayville Fire Department kitchen with Larry Weiss, and today we're going to make his cream of Reuben soup, a delicious recipe that Larry came up with. Larry, tell me a little bit, how'd you come up with the name and how...
Cream of Reuben soup actually has all the components that a Reuben sandwich has.
Okay.
It's got sauerkraut, it's got corned beef, it's got Swiss cheese, it's got rye bread croutons on the top, so when you take it and you put it in your mouth. It tastes just like a Reuben sandwich.
Oh, so you're saying with a big spoon, it's a chunky, hearty
it's
type?
very hearty soup. It's great for Sunday brunch or a football game or something like that.
Right, if coming back from a working fire, you're really hungry, you get a nice hearty.
Yeah, definitely from a working fire.
Yeah, hearty soup, hearty soup. Okay, why don't we go over a few of the ingredients that you're using here today. This is regular whole butter.
Absolutely, whole butter.
And what type of flour?
All-purpose flour.
All-purpose, okay.
And this is onion, Vidalia onion actually, because it's nice and sweet.
Sweet, right.
And then we have the corned beef that's going to be shredded.
Cooked corned beef.
Chopped sauerkraut, caraway seeds, salt and pepper, and some rye bread croutons, and don't forget the Swiss cheese.
Okay, so that's rye. For a minute I thought it was sourdough.
Yep.
And what, you have a few spices here, right? This one,
that's caraway seeds, because that gives you that real...
pastrami type, Reuben type kind of flavor.
Right.
And heavy cream.
And heavy cream.
And this, you and me later, or no?
And that's a little bit beer for that. And,
it does?
We'll see what happens if it evaporates, right?
Oh, so that actually goes in the recipe.
Yeah.
All right, so why don't we start doing our little cooking thing here, and what's our first step?
Okay, we're going to turn the pot on.
Okay.
And we're going to take
That's to put the butter in and saute the onion and flour, right?
Right.
Like a roux, you make it.
Absolutely.
Okay.
That's what we're making.
Okay,
we're making
very good.
Roux. So the butter's going to go inside.
Okay.
And we're going to need to chop up the onion.
The type of chop, mince, dice, rough chop?
Mince, dice, whatever works.
Not particular about that, any type
No,
of, okay.
because it's all going to cook down and it's going to mix with the sauerkraut, so you're not even going to notice the difference.
Now this corned beef, you want this consistency, correct?
Correct.
Okay, very small. Okay, to make it chunky, okay.
All right, chop the onion while you're chopping that.
Okay. Now again, no particular dice on that because it's all gonna, but this has to be small. All right, so you're, am I correct? You're a member of the West Sayville Fire Department?
Yes, for 20 years.
Well, then we know for sure that a one-pot meal in a firehouse is one of the best meals because you get called out, God forbid, you can shut it to low and put it back together again.
Absolutely.
It's an extra challenge as a chef trying to prepare recipes because you got the in and out thing going on.
Correct.
Yep, okay, so as well we know.
All right, so now that I got the flour in here, we're going to cook this for a while.
Now are you
This
going
is
to...
what's going to cook, call it a roux.
A roux, okay. So the flour will continue to cook as it simmers down is what you're saying?
Right.
Okay, yeah, so you're not looking for the real dark roux that you do in some recipes. Okay, great.
This is chicken stock and milk.
Chicken stock and regular whole milk.
And regular whole milk.
Okay. All right, you can... Okay. And you're whisking that around like when you do with a regular roux.
Right.
Okay, great.
And once it thickens, then we just put everything else in,
Okay.
and we're ready to eat.
Okay, I'm going to take this bowl and put the rest of this in here.
Great.
And now, is this when you add this ingredient?
No, that's when you add this.
Oh, okay, all right. Oh, you're one of those kitchen guys that order people around, huh? Yeah, I've worked with a few of those. All right, so you want
right in the pot,
all
Joe.
of it in, right? Okay, very good, very good. Okay.
Okay, so now we're going to switch to a spoon because it's going to get a little messy and it's all going to get stuck inside the whisk.
Okay. Okay, Larry, what's our next step?
The next step is you're going to chop the sauerkraut, and I'm going to do the Swiss cheese, and that's the most crucial thing because that gives it the real flavor of the sandwich.
I'll let you do that because you know the size that you want to chop it, and I'll do this. And again, this is like the pastrami, just kind of go through it.
Chop it up.
Yep,
The
go through
smaller
it.
the better.
Okay, just go through it like I did with the corned beef wrap. Wow.
Pretty tasty, right?
Yep, really hearty. On a cold winter night, I could see having something like this. I see you have a patch there.
We have a patch from the West Sayville Fire Department. We'd like to present it to you.
Okay, that's going to go back on our Firehouse kitchen set on our honorary patch board.
Great.
Now it's time for us to take up until the next episode of
Firehouse Kitchen.
Thank you for watching this episode of American Firehouse Cuisine. If you would like to order a personally signed copy of the Healthy Firehouse Cookbook or the Firehouse Grilling Cookbook, please visit the website at www.thehealthyfirehouse.com. My new children's book, Manutza, the Firefighting Elephant, is now also available in print or ebook format on the website. Producers or network associates interested in continuing or expanding American Firehouse Cuisine, please contact us through the website.